So guys, today what I'm bringing to you guys is types of people during exam period. We're going to be talking about people before the exam, during the exam and after the exam. Let's do this. So we're going to start off here talking about the good examples of teachers before the exam. Let me show you. Okay class, as I'm sure you're aware by now, you've got some end of year exams coming up. So in preparation, I've got you a nice detailed revision list, and I've also got some past papers that you may wish to complete if you want to and help you with the exam. Thanks guys, have a good half term. Like, these are the teachers that actually want you to pass. Like, they're showing that they care. Like, I think one time I got in trouble with my head of year and she said, teachers are there to help you do well. These are the teachers that are a good example of this, but these are the bad examples.
Right class, so I'm sure as you're more than aware now, we have got an end of year exam coming up, so go home, do some revision, and yeah.
But sir, what do we need to revise for the test?
Just revise, just revise from the textbook, just revise everything we've done this year.
Well, thank you for really elaborating on that point. I'm sure I'm gonna pass now. Like, they just don't put in any effort at all. Like, they don't care. They're just like, oh yeah, just revise this, just revise everything we've done this year. Like, you're not being specific at all. Just like, at least try to put some effort in to help your students pass. Right, so next up here, we're going to talk about students. Now, these are the good ones. These are the students that actually like keep their revision to themselves. They get down, they do the revision, they get the grades, all is good. But these are the bad ones. Oh, I've got so much revision to do. Hang on, gotta get a Snapchat of that first. Yes, please. Yeah, we'll just caption that revision. And bang, on the story we go. And, right. Done. It's those kids who just put it all over social media and they just don't do it. It's the same as like those people who just try to act all healthy with their avocado and fried eggs, but then you know they'd much prefer to be in a chocolate bar or something. Like, they put all this like revision on their social media page and then they just like, nope, and they're gonna do something else. Like, why put revision on your social media accounts if you're not even gonna do it? Finally, in the kind of before the exam section, we're going to be talking about parents. Now, obviously, everyone's raised differently, so everyone will have different experiences, but these are some of mine. Now, a good example of a decent parent is one that will be willing to test you. Like, basically, I do Spanish at my school, and obviously people may do like French, German, or any other language. And it's obviously when you've got like a vocabulary exam coming up, then obviously you can go downstairs and say, look mum and dad, I've got this test, I've got some words, can you test me? Now, my mum's quite good at this. Like, she'll obviously jumble them up and stuff, which is obviously decent, and it does help me get the good grades, which is obviously a good parent. That's obviously what you would expect, and that's really good. That helps you get the grades. But the bad ones are, this has come from personal experience, but the first one has to be, because I like go to private school and stuff, it's my parents putting so much pressure on me to do well. It's like, if you don't get A stars, you will fail in life. It's so like, it really gets to me. And it's also, this happens to some of my friends in my classes. Their parents literally make them sit down and revise all day. That's just horrible. That's torture. How can you do that? Like, how can you just make your kid sit down all day, every day, for a solid week and just do nothing but revision? And the final one here, this has come from a lot of experience. I'll show you a kind of little skit, but it's basically, my parents are completely against the idea of computers for revision. Let me show you. What are you doing? Mum, I'm doing revision. I told you to turn it off an hour ago. Yeah, but I'm doing revision here. Don't make me come over there. Mum, look, I'm doing revision. Right, that's it, I'm turning it off. Oh, but Mum. Right, so next up, we're going to be talking about the types of people during the exam. When you're sat down, you're taking that paper, and we're going to start off with the invigilator. And the invigilator, they can be decent, but there are some that just really really annoy me. Now, a good example of an invigilator is literally a standard one. The one that does what they're meant to do. That's good, that's fine. But like the bad ones, oh my God. Now, I don't know why. Why does the invigilator, I've not said a word or done anything. They just feel the need to stare at you. Why? Like, I'm trying to get on with my paper, and then I look up to look at the time, and I see the invigilator, like, proper staring me down. Why? Why do they feel the need to constantly stare at me? Like, do you know how off-putting that is? Knowing there's a middle-aged man looking into my soul. Now, the second one here is the one that constantly walks past. Like, just sit down and do something. Why do you have to be constantly patrolling up and down the room? Just sit down, man. Why do you have to be constantly walking around? And the third one is the invigilator that's on their phone. Now, for all of you who don't know what an invigilator is, I'm sure most of you do, but an invigilator is basically the person, the adult, who's put in charge to make sure like all of the students are doing what they're meant to be doing. Now, obviously, this isn't as much of an issue at the school I go to, but obviously, I've seen some people like attempting to cheat, and the invigilator is there to stop cheating and stop poor conduct during the exam. They shouldn't be sat there on their phone doing nothing. That's not what you're meant to be doing. Now, next up here, we're going to be talking about students during the exam. Now, good examples of students are literally the same as the invigilator, the standard, what they're meant to be doing. However, there are obviously the exceptions. Let me show you them. Now, the first one here has to be the guy I mentioned in a video I did before who just sniffs all the time and coughs. Like it's so annoying. Like, at least get some tissue, or at least like just cough in your hands rather than why? Just do it to yourself. That's so off-putting, man. And the second one here is the copycat. Like, why? You should have revised to get your grades, not be going, like, stop copying me. I've done my revision to get my grades. You should have done the same. Now, my final one for students that annoy me is due to this magical thing. And it's basically when they open it, obviously bearing in mind the exam is got no noise, that can get a little bit annoying. But the more annoying thing is this noise. When they go for a massive gulp of water, and that's all you can hear. Like, just have some consideration for the other people sitting this paper, rather than going, like, obviously, I know it's not meant to do it, but obviously, just try, come on, try and be somewhat considerate. Right, now we're going to be talking about the people after the exam, and we're going to start off with teachers after the exam. Now, the good teachers are the teachers that are going to help out the class. Like, I like it when a teacher takes a lesson, like a whole lesson, to go through the paper thoroughly and scan to make sure all of the students have got the maximum amount of marks they can and help them on maybe where they went wrong. And I like that. I like when a teacher does it, like they're taking on responsibility for helping their students improve. But the bad ones, I've literally, one time a few years ago, I think it was year 8 or something, the teacher literally completely changed their attitude towards me because I got a lower grade than they expected. And then the other one here is basically when the teacher puts something in the exam that we haven't studied. This literally happened a few months ago. I said to the teacher after the test, I was like, "Sir, we haven't studied this." And he goes, "Oh yeah, we're studying that one in a few weeks." What? Why put it in the test then? Are you just trying to lower our marks? Because why are you going to put something in the test that we haven't studied? That's so pointless. Next up here, we're going to be talking about students. Now, obviously, the good examples are the people that, you know, they get in, they get their grades, they get out. That's all good. But the bad ones are just so annoying, man. It's that one person you go, "Hey, what grade did you get?" "I got 1 off an A." "So you got a B?" Yeah, but I was 1 off an A, so you got a B. Yeah, you keep missing the point. I was 1 off an A. It's that guy who always tries to, like, avoid his current grade by saying, oh, I was 1 off this, or I was 2 off this. I know I've done this before, I know I'm guilty of it, but it's when they won't accept the grade they've got, and they'll keep saying, oh, I was 1 off this. I will accept, say if I got a C and I was 1 off a B, I might mention that I was 1 off a B, but I will accept the fact that I've got a C, and I know people who will literally not even accept it. They're acting as if they got the A, but they were like 1 or 2 marks off. Now the final one here is the parents. Now obviously this can either go really well or really bad, basically. Now firstly, if you get some decent grades, like you get some B's, some A's, maybe the odd A star here and there, depending on what kind of student you are, you would expect your parents to kind of go, oh, well done, yeah, this is good, like obviously more enthusiastically than I am. But obviously you want to feel like you've done something good. You don't just want your parents to be like, oh yeah, did you get A's, did you get A's? And then this brings me on to the bad example, which is why do parents, I've said this, I think I said it earlier, it's like, if you haven't got A stars, it's not good enough, is it? This is the same with my parents. If I haven't got straight A stars, it's not good enough, mate. You failed life. You're going to go and work at Mackie D's when you're older because you didn't get straight A stars in a pointless flipping exam. Like, oh my god. If it was GCSEs and I got like straight Fs, I can understand that. But if it's school exams and I haven't got A stars, nah mate, you failed life. And that's going to wrap up the video, guys. If you enjoy it, please hit the like button. Subscribe down below if you aren't already. But until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.